Okay, Crave here, and as you're seeing right now, we have some Division gameplay. I mentioned in my open beta video that if you did see content from me about this game, it simply means I bought it, and man, it's a good buy from the few hours I've spent with it. For this upload, I'm going to keep it short, going through some of the issues that I have with the game and some of the positives as well. I'll also detail everything about my thought process about this whole thing in a WordPress article I will be posting in the description box below. So it's just something new I'm trying out, trying to see whether my writing skills are up to par. Yeah, it's basically for those who may be interested in reading instead of watching and listening to a video. So, what's wrong with the division? Now, first off, I guess what I mentioned in my open video with the issue with nothing happening in between missions is still pretty much there. You can hear the chatter and the comms, but it's a pretty dull stroll in between locations, so you have to be in. And I get that it's supposed to be the setting, but more things in between, to help liven up the experience would be better. I mean, I guess it's okay-ish now because I'm still in the early levels and I'm all excited. But I can tell that it can get pretty old pretty fast in the next few hours. I didn't catch it in the open beta. I don't know why, but the fast travel system will definitely help. So I guess it's if you're new to the game, it's best that you try your best to unlock the safe houses you encounter, or if it's just somewhere within your vicinity, even though it's a high-level area, try to get there so that getting about the city is much easier instead of those dull strolls. Unless, of course, you're into discovering side missions and all these things. What else? Since I do have the PC version, I of course encountered some PC specific bugs. Yeah, I did encounter an issue before starting up the game where I had a black screen. So it's apparently due to mismatches in the default resolution that's available with multi-monitor setups. Although I did encourage a couple of friends to actually get the game, and they did, and they also encountered it. They're just using single monitor setups. So yeah, that was eventually resolved. I think a friend of mine did a restart of his computer, and what I did was to simply force a windowed mode. And what else for PC issues? I also read somewhere that NVIDIA users like myself have been experiencing issues with the latest driver, which I did not install. So luckily for me, I didn't do that. So I think that's the game ready driver from NVIDIA. I'm sure it'll get sorted out, but yeah, it looks like yeah, I dodged a minor bullet there. And in game, what the other issues? Oh yeah, of course the griefing is there. It's pretty much a common thing in multiplayer games. Eurogamer posted a very funny, well, it's not funny if you were affected by it, but a doorway collision abuse. So basically it's just someone blocking the doorway, which stops you from getting inside the safe house. So I actually encountered a similar issue. I was able to get inside the doorway already, where two players blocked one of the NPCs that I had to talk to. Yeah, that sucks when it happens, but I was eventually able to sort that thing out. During my first few hours, I also noticed two lag freeze, really bad lag freeze issues. Through the few hours I played the game. Funny thing about that, though, is that I thought in those two instances it was just me, especially the last one. We were doing one of the cleaner missions, and yeah, I just thought it was me. I waited about 30 seconds to a minute, and then someone in my group just asked about it. So it turns out we were all experiencing the same thing. We were just waiting for the issue to resolve itself, so it did get fixed. Um yeah, I let me see if I can recall any other issues. I think that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the positive. So it's not really a bad to not make it sound like a very bad experience. Um, Let me see. I guess the most important thing for any gamer is that it's fun. I find it to be a very fun game, and it's not a mindless kind of fun, but it really involves a lot of different things to do. It's not like Evolve or Battlefront where you're limited to one aspect or one gameplay type. So the Division has a decent shooter slash RPG slash a bunch of stuff mechanics, and that it allows you to run solo or group in PvE or engage in PvP in solo or group content. Now, uh, I'm not tied down to one thing, and that in itself is a great thing. I don't have to just go for PvP. Not because I mean, I'm not tied down to PvP. I'm not tied down to PvE. I can do different things, and the story missions are great. And the dialogue and comms chatter you hear is very much apt for the scenario you have to go through. Yeah, you do have some of those cliche lines, but you don't get an overload of unimaginative scripts in your ear. So yeah, it's Ubisoft did a pretty decent job on that one, and there are also so many weapons and mods for your weapons that you're able to finally, just choose which ones you like. Of course, you pick the best, the ones with the best damage output in terms of weapons and in terms of armor. It's normally the best amount of health and armor that you can get. Although sometimes you may want to prioritize some certain pieces that offer you more skill bonuses and stuff like that. But yeah, generally it's just about the health, so you can survive and just plow through the leveling content. Yeah, you also get to unlock more of the skills you were sort of just looking at in the open beta and weren't able to unlock. Included in that is the talents, the perks. They were just really tucked away during the beta, and finally you get to unlock them and try them out. I have the option to build my agent to what I find interesting because of these talent and skills combinations. So I guess it won't really matter if you're just running solo or with casual groups, but in more organized squads, I guess, yeah, you do have to tailor your skills to what's really missing in the squad or what the squad needs, and yeah, basically just complement the needs of the squad. About those drops, so I'm trying some crafting stuff, some of the crafting stuff right now. It's nice because well, it's not always useful. Some of the crafting stuff, the stuff I can craft, I was able to utilize one useful rifle. I've made some mistakes in crafting stuff. Some stuff eventually I find out, after looking at the numbers, it's not really useful. The item, it does happen. Yeah, I'm just hoping that as the game progresses, the crafting system turns out to be a really robust one, and that it fulfills my my desire to create some stuff that are respectable weapons. Not necessarily the best, but better than average. Other things to mention. Oh, I haven't really tried the Dark Zone in detail. I tried it once only to get, just like in the open beta, I was ganked immediately. So I was pretty much in the lower level of my bracket. So I don't think I'm going to get back in there until I am on the higher end of that bracket. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And I think I'll cut it at this point. So there's really still a whole lot to explore in the game. And it's basically what I want to convey is that in spite of the issues this game has, it's really a whole lot of fun. And if you got it for the PC just like I did, maybe we'll see you in game. And again, if you do prefer reading about my thought process in purchasing this game, check out the article I mentioned in the description box below. So thanks for checking this out, and I'll talk to you soon.